Hello everybody. We're streaming a little bit later than usual. It is 11 p.m. my time, and I didn't really tell anybody that I'm going live at this time. I just decided to show up as a little nighttime hangout and talk to you guys about dream journaling, dream incubation, which is the practice of planning out your dreams before bed. I thought this would be a great time to do that with you. What's up, Lil Mayo? How's it going? Thanks for joining. Good to have you, my friend. So yeah, I thought it'd be a great time to kind of show you my process for dream incubation, answer a few questions that I've gotten recently on dream journaling, and just kind of like just hang out, talk about dreams, whatever. So, I have brought my dream planning journal as well because I am going to plan out my next one with you guys and kind of chat with you guys about the process that I go through when I'm figuring out what to plan next for my dreams. What is up, G? How's it going? So good to see you guys. So good to see you guys. And just a reminder, if you want updates on when I'm streaming, if you want to stay connected to the community, share your experiences, get support, I definitely recommend joining our Telegram group. And if you have a Facebook or care about that, my private Facebook group on Facebook I've really been doing a lot more with. So those are two great places to join the community if you want to hang out with us. And because my mods are asleep, I'm not super quick with having all my links and resources ready, so I'll plug them at the end. But let's kind of jump in. And again, guys, if you have any questions about dreaming, your practice, anywhere that you're struggling or anything, let me know. Let's chat. Let's hang out and talk about it. So when it comes to planning your dreams, again, if you hear me say dream incubation or dream planning, it's literally the same thing. When you hear people talk about dream incubation, if you come across like videos on different channels or anything like that, literally what they're talking about is just intending to have a specific experience that night. So instead of like dream journaling after you wake up and like reporting the dream that you have, dream incubation is before bed, and you kind of plan out the night ahead of you, like the lucid dream that you want to have, or if you have like a request or an intention for what you want to see or experience tonight, that's what your dream incubation or your dream planning journal is for. So I recommend having two journals. One you're going to use before bed, which is this one we're talking about, and then the second one would be your normal dream journal that you use every morning. Oh my god, Eric, what's up? I did not think you were here. You surprised me. Okay, I guess Eric is here. Welcome. It's so good to see you, Eric. I haven't seen you for I know at least the last stream, but good to see you, my friend. That definitely surprised me. What time is it for you? Anyways, like 1-ish? 1 a.m.? What do you think of seeing synchronization in real life? I'm so glad that you asked that question. I don't know if you saw the live stream that I just did a little bit ago, but I literally did it on the science of synchronicity and how we can create more synchronicity. I definitely recommend checking out that live stream because that I literally packed it full of information. I did tons of research. I pulled up scientific research papers and shared a ton of links and resources there as well that I would recommend checking out. But we also talk about how to increase your chances of experiencing synchronicity and how we all have this subconscious filter called the reticular activating system. And it's basically an internal subconscious filter that we have that scans the environment for whatever we intend or desire to find. And this is one way that we can start catching more synchronicity. It's like when you're wanting to get a specific type of car, but then you start to see that car more and more and more. It's not that there's more of those cars driving on the road. It's that you literally tuned in to the frequency of that vehicle and you've activated that subconscious filter that filters out all the other cars for you and helps you zero in on that one thing. It's like if I asked you to find the color blue right now where you're sitting, all of a sudden you'll see all the blue just stand out way more than it was before. That's that filter that we're talking about. So although we can have synchronicities that we didn't necessarily cause but do feel synchronistic for us, And there's also ones that I feel like we can kind of induce, and there's ways to play with that, and that's one of my favorite things to talk about. I just released a short, I think today or yesterday, on this as well, of the pink elephant symbol that I use to kind of manifest in the world to kind of have fun. Um, yeah, so it's called the reticular activating system. That's exactly right, and I can get you the link to that. Let me see, 1 second. Actually, it might be easier if I'm trying to debate if I should go look for everything in my Google document or just go to the live stream. 1 second, let me find that really quick. Okay. And, oh, first of all, I will share this. That's probably a good thing to share. The live stream, which we broke that down. It's called Exploring the Science to Synchronicity and Coincidence. And then, let's see, reticular activating system. It's this one right here. Just pulling directly from the resources on that live stream. Okay, here is the article about that. Just a quick little blurb on what that is. And super cool to start using that and playing around with it. Like, what the heck? That's my favorite thing to explore, is like between what's scientifically verified and what we don't quite know yet for sure. And that could be whether it's in the realm of like spirituality or whether it's just something like this, you know, synchronicity and coincidence. Do we have an influence over that? I love exploring that like liminal line of this is possible, but also this is what seems impossible. But how many times have you thought that something was impossible and turns out it wasn't? Maybe that's the perspective after all. But oh yeah, right, Eric. Oh my gosh. That is so crazy. The power of raw simulation. Yep. It's just happening. It's happening for us all, dude. And by the way, Eric, you and I have been talking about the synchronicity that's been showing up. It has not been slowing down at all, by the way. It's only been like a couple days since we've talked about it, but it's literally insane. So if you guys, since we're on the topic anyways, if you have had any weird synchronicity show up, whether it's in your dreams or whether it is in your waking experience, it could be numerical synchronicities, it could be situations or people or just like interesting things where you're like, anything that gets you to stop and be and question it a little bit. I want to hear about it. Okay, so when it comes to dream planning, we'll start there. I've been seeing angel numbers. Is there any specific numbers that are showing up for you a lot, Tiffany? For me, it's been changing. It's like it goes through phases or something. Don't ask me. I don't make the rules, but things have definitely been interesting recently. Wait, synchronicity can appear in dreams? Totally. Totally, absolutely. And you know what's weird? Synchronicities that you see during the day, those can also appear in your dreams, or synchronicities or like content from your dreams can show up in waking life. And this is why I'm super curious about like the connection between those two, because it really seems like they rely on each other a lot. You know what I mean? Like we're so used to trying to get information into the dream, like to let our dream self know when we're dreaming. You know, we kind of focus on taking something from the physical realm and kind of trying to get it to show up in our dreams, just like we're talking about now, dream incubation, dream planning, right? But it's important to remember that it works vice versa as well. Synchronicities or things that we experience in the dream can totally show up in the physical experience, and this makes it more important than ever to do reality checks and check which reality we're in, because so often, like in so many ways I should say, those two worlds are blurred. Like, how many times have you been confused if you're actually awake or not? How many times have you not realized you're dreaming because it was so real, because it seemed so normal, like your normal waking life? This is why reality checks are important, and they can seem annoying at first if they feel like a chore. And this is what, like, the old way of doing reality checks is setting a normal timer on your phone and counting your fingers and asking yourself a couple questions to determine if you're dreaming. But what I really recommend, if you want to create spontaneous lucidity, not just like random spotty lucidity, but like truly integrated lucidity, the best thing for that is to try to integrate that during the day. Like, try to induce a sense of awe and curiosity and wonder as much as you can during the day. I promise you that really changes things. Like, I just made a post the other day on the sky in dreams, and I was kind of surprised by some of the responses, but it makes me curious because so many of us don't even remember the skies in our dreams, but for some reason, in a lot of my dreams, it's always like crazy galactic skies, or like, I don't know, something so magical and intense that you don't expect to see. And a lot of people were like, oh, I've never even like noticed the sky in my dreams at all. And I was trying to think of why that is. Like, obviously they come down to our habits and stuff, but I cannot tell you how much time during the day I'm spending looking at the sky, like all day, every day, whether it's during the day and I'm looking at the sunrise or the clouds. I'm constantly cloud watching as well. There's tons of trees around. I literally got bird watching binoculars so I could watch all the cool birds and all the trees, and I'm like always looking up in the sky, especially at night. Oh my God, there's so much to see at night, basically all the time. Anytime you look at the sky, there's something beautiful to look at. And I noticed because of this, like, I've just always been that way, especially because my birthday falls on the Perseid meteor shower every year. And so that's been like my birthday gift, is to watch the meteor shower every night of my birthday. Like, I've literally done that since I was little. And so I think just that natural like urge to look at the sky and just look at the cloud, it shows up in my dreams now, but I've never seen a cloudy sky, I don't think. I don't think so. I don't know. It's like always just like super crazy and otherworldly. And I mean, it's been like sunny, normal skies in my dreams, but I'm never like looking up at the sky when that happens. The only time the sky seemed to appear normal when I was actually working with it was my healing dream that I had for my stomach that I told you guys about. When I was actually in that swimming pool that dream character told me was a healing pool of water, like when I was working with the energy in my hands and putting them on my belly and just saying thank you for my healing, thank you for my healing, the beam of the sun like literally connected to the palms of my hands, and I felt like this crazy surge of energy from the sun. It was almost like it was like coming from outside of the dream or whatever, and the sun was like the portal for all this energy to come in. And that dream obviously changed my whole entire life. And that was also the only time that I worked with like a sunny sky directly in my dreams. The other times it's been like sky full of stars, but all the stars are like a different color, like not like several stars of the same shade. Like, I'm telling you, on the entire spectrum of colors to ever exist, like colors that we don't even see in waking life. Like, it was just painting the sky, or I'll see like weird northern lights in the sky, or weird like just galaxies and other planets. I don't know, but I'm also very drawn to that. I mean, that's a lot of what the animations are on my second channel that I make, is like all types of stuff like that. And so I think just the things that I love the most just show up in my dreams. And so this is one way to start becoming more conscious of your dreams, is to do more of the things during the day that create that sense of awe and wonder. Because if it starts showing up in your dreams, and those are some of your favorite things, guess what that creates? That creates more lucidity. You're going to notice it. You're going to pay attention to it more. If it's just like a normal dream that you're experiencing and you're just like walking down the street and it's just like nothing is really going to pull your awareness to it, right? And there's several ways to train ourselves to realize when we're dreaming, or to get ourselves to question. But how often do we actually, instead of just focusing on trying to get these questions to show up in our dreams or looking at our hands, like, how often do we actually use play and a sense of awe and wonder more during the day? So that is the habit that seeps into our dreams, and that's what causes us to get lucid. I hope this makes sense, because most of the ways that I get lucid are from me being immersed in things that I normally do or love to do during the day. Like, a lot of the time I'm listening to some sort of like audiobook or talk or something, and I'm just like sitting outside in my little garden and just observing things. And so I've started to notice myself do that more in the dreams, but I'm obviously more aware when something is kind of weird in the dream, because I swear it's either something super weird happening in my dream or I'm in school. One of the two, usually. And I don't know, the more that I've not focused on solely just like, okay, it's 1 o'clock, it's time to do a reality check, but more so finding ways to integrate that way of thinking naturally, like, if my dream self was just going about her time right now, what would she be doing? Like, I wonder what she's doing right now. If I try to speak to that self, that dream self, could I actually get a message back? Or if I tap into that dream self and tell that dream self to send me a synchronicity, will it show up during the day? Like, what does this mean? There's so many ways that we can connect with the energy of our dreams without actually being lucid in it. You know, there's ways that we can connect to that energy. There's ways that we can work with it during the day, truly. Like, and even if you ask yourself, what are ways that I can increase my lucidity? Right then, you'll get an answer from your brain. We already have all of the answers that we need to progress in the ways that we need to progress. And that's why synchronicities feel so important, because it's a lot of time confirming something that we already know. And I can't tell you how much I've learned from my dream self just by asking a question before bed or intending to receive an answer. And so that's kind of what we're going to explore today. So if you guys have your dream planning journal, I would definitely recommend grabbing it, because we are going to do the dream incubation exercise together that I talk about. It's a very simple way to plan out your dreams, whether it is a lucid dream you want to have or a non-lucid dream, or maybe you just want to get a specific question answered and just wake up with that knowing. It's possible to still work with your subconscious and receive an answer upon waking up without it necessarily coming from a dream directly, if that makes sense. So whether it's a lucid dream you want to have, a non-lucid dream, or you just have an intention for how you want to wake up, you know, how you want to feel when you wake up. It could even be how you want your day to go tomorrow. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be truly related to dreams in that way, but explore it and just see what results you get. And again, you don't need to create a whole new dream plan every night before bed. You can. Usually I try to focus into like what's really important, what feels really important for me right now, whether it's an experience I want to have, or like a question I want, or like an answer I want to receive or something. And then I basically just review the page nightly before bed and try to have that be like the last thing on my mind until I complete that dream plan, until I actually have that experience. And then once I have that experience, then I can flip to the next page and write a new dream plan, you know? And then even in your dream journal, you can write the date and, okay, I completed dream plan number 1 last night, and this is what happened. You know, maybe you would use your dream journal in the morning to report the experience from your dream planning journal or your dream incubation journal. But yeah, you don't have to work with it every single day. It's really just if you are aiming to like for something specific to happen that night. But if it's an experience that's really important to you, then yeah, I recommend just reading through the experience before bed and intending to experience it. And then if it happens that night, cool. If not, you can try again the next night with that, or until you lose interest in that and you can choose something else. It's kind of just a way to have more awareness and intention with what you experience at night instead of just like seeing what happens. It's kind of a way to direct that energy. And there's so many times where I don't even really necessarily use my dream planning journal, and maybe I just want to fall asleep and imagine the most beautiful place that I can. That's something that's kind of like a creative exercise for yourself, is to try to imagine the most beautiful and relaxing place you could possibly imagine. Where would you be in that scene? What kind of colors are in that scene? Is it somewhere lost in nature? And if so, what specifically does it look like? What does the sky look like in that reality? What does the air smell like? What are you wearing, you know? What sounds do you hear when you close your eyes? I get lost in that. And not only does that help me fall asleep faster, but it also is so relaxing for me to just get lost in daydreaming, night dreaming in this case, that a lot of the time that is the last thing that I'm thinking about, and I will have a dream in a similar location or something. But the more you do this, you'll start to figure out like what the important pieces are. Really, it is about invoking emotion, something that feels important to you to achieve, something that gets you excited, something that feels meaningful, something that feels connected to your passion or your purpose with dream work right now. You know, something that feels like it has some substance to it. Those are the things I recommend putting in your uh, dream planning journal. And again, if you ever want to scrap an idea, you can totally do that. But if you all have your journals, I will go ahead and just show you. And it's the same technique that we've talked about. And you know what's so interesting? So I came up with this technique a few years ago, but I wanted to make a video on Carl Jung's method of dream incubation, and so I looked it up to get a refresher. And you know, it's so interesting. It's literally almost verbatim the exact one that I have. It's really, and oh, it was dream decoding. Dream decoding is the one that I looked up from Carl Jung because I wanted to see his process, and that 3-step process of looking at the theme, the emotion, and any unique symbols and seeing how they apply to your waking experience. Yeah, it was literally almost the exact same. So we're not going to do a full video on that, but we're going to chat about that today in different ways that we can work with our dreams once we have them written down as well. So this is kind of going to be a dream journal live stream in different ways that we can use journaling for dream work. So again, you're going to have 2 journals, your dream journal, your morning dream journal, and your nightly journal, which is going to be your dream planning journal. This one's a few years old, and so I just decided to try to spice it up with what I had. It looks like I only had a silver Sharpie at the time, which is totally fine, but I found that dreaming is really connected to our inner child, our creativity, and so really do your best to have fun with dream work. Decorate your dream journal, have a pen that is super smooth and fun to write with. Like, you really want to create as much ease and flow in your dream practice as possible, and cut out anything that either doesn't feel fun or change it to be more aligned with what what feels good to you, because none of this should necessarily feel like work. It should be, if it's not something that's super fun to you, it should at least be intriguing or induce curiosity. If you're bored or not interested in your dream practice right now, that's just part of the ebb and flow of your dream practice. There's nothing that's gone wrong. I promise you that is what is necessary in order for you to have the energy to maintain remembering your dreams and working with your dreams. It's just like our cycles, you know, as females or people who menstruate. Like, we go through cycles each and every month, and there's going to be times where like you do not have energy to do anything, and then before you know it, you are up and ready again, and you are feeling super inspired. Those downtimes are super necessary for you to be totally immersed in all the magic that your dream practice can have. So if you ever feel not really interested in your dream practice, or you don't feel like you have the energy for it, nothing's gone wrong. It's supposed to be like that in that moment. And trying to force working with your dreams in a way that doesn't necessarily feel aligned at the time, it's not going to be very fruitful for you anyway. So see that as the ebb and flow of the practice, and see how you can shift during those times to prepare for when you're ready to get back in your practice. How can you nourish your mind and your body outside of dream work during the time where you don't feel necessarily super connected to it? What book have you been waiting to read? Like take that time to immerse yourself in something else that means a lot to you, and just know that it's like a necessary little break. Even during a work shift, you know, you still have those breaks. So whatever you feel with your break, make sure that it's something that still feels good. You don't have to be doing dream work every single day of your life to be a dreamer. I don't think it's like that for anybody. So just know that nothing's gone wrong. So for your dream planning journal, for your first one, I just recommend, and I recommend writing like number 1 on the first page, number 2 on your next dream plan. That way, when you're referring to it in your dream journal, you can find it in your dream planning journal. Like, okay, I finally achieved dream plan number 3. You'll be able to flip through your dream planning journal if you ever want to go look at it, and you can get all the details there. But this just kind of helps keep things organized. And I've heard some people say, hey, can I use my dream journal for several things. I take notes for my grocery list. That's the dream journal that I do my brain dumps in. Is that okay? Don't do that. Definitely have your dream journal be its own journal, and have your dream planning journal be its own journal. You want to make it as seamless as possible to review the information we're writing down, because dream work is not something where you just write it down and you forget it. You're working with the information, you're going back to the information, you're spotting the patterns in the information, and so you want it to be as organized and simple as possible. So, number 1 on your page, and then think about what you're being called to next in your practice. Again, it's going to invoke a feeling, and that's what we're looking for. You don't want to just, I guess I could do this. You want it to be something that feels important to you. So, for example, my first one, it looks like I was having like kidney/lower back pain at the time. And so I used it to work on physically healing my body. That's the first one I had. The second one I had was to meet the archetype of my worthiness, like as an actual dream character, because I was doing a lot of work around that at the time. Let's see. My third one was to meet my grandmother within my dream. And so it's kind of stuff like that, which is either calling your immediate attention or it's something that you've wanted to do for a while, or just something that means a lot to you right now. And again, it could be an experience, it could be a question, just a way to kind of guide your nightly experience. So we're going to kind of break this down into 4 main simple steps. So the first one is going to be plan. So you're literally going to put number 1 right here. I would put the date, today's date, and then that way you know when you actually created that plan and when you achieved it. Again, it's just kind of a way to have more information. And then I give it a title. So it literally is Heal Kidneys and Lower Back. Again, this makes it easy for when you're going through the information. You don't have to read through the actual thing to see what it's about. It's literally like a book. It has all the info that you need. Now your plan, you want it to be as straightforward as possible. It's basically kind of letting your brain know what to expect, like what this kind of experience is going to be like. So I explained from them, and this is a lucid dream that I am working on creating. So I planned it out from the moment I got lucid. So in my next lucid dream, once I am lucid, I will put my hands on my lower back and imagine healing white energy going to my back. I will call up to the sky, my kidneys and back are free of conflict 3 times. And then once you have your plan down, we're going to, obviously I'm going to give you guys time, but then we're going to show our brain kind of what it looks like. And that's the most efficient way to give our brain information, is to show it like text information of what's going to happen and then a visual of what that actually looks like. And it actually is shown that vision boards are up to 80% more effective if you tie in an image with the actual statement of what you are working on or what you are attracting, bringing in, and so on and so forth. So again, you just want it to be like a little paragraph of your plan. And if this is not a lucid dream, then you would just write, in my next dream, I desire, or I intend. I probably maybe use the word intend, because on our last couple live streams, we've talked about how important words are when we're speaking with ourself or our subconscious mind, even when it comes to setting goals. To activate that RAS, that reticular activating system, that subconscious filter that helps scan the environment to help get you closer to what you want, it doesn't take action until you decide on something. So if you're like, I hope this will happen one day, or I wish this would happen. That's not necessarily a command to that filter, so it actually doesn't even activate until you decide or intend that now this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm going to do. So make sure that you are conscious with the words that you're using, but yeah, go ahead and take a moment if you have your dream planning journal to kind of plan out your next experience. And again, if you ever get bored of it or you just want to try something else, you can always just write a new one, even if you don't achieve it that night or achieve it at all. You can always come back to it as well. But whatever's lighting you up right now. That's the cool thing with dreamwork is I feel like it's really connected to our intuition in a lot of ways, you know? And I feel like what's ever coming up for you that feels important to explore in the dreams, maybe that's where you're meant to, or what you're meant to explore very next. So just take a moment and write out a small paragraph around that plan. And if it is just a question, then you'd probably say, tonight I will receive an answer on this. Or I have this question, and tonight I intend to receive the answer from my subconscious. And the picture could even be you laying in bed with a little talk bubble or like think bubble with the question inside of it. Like it could be something super silly. Again, you don't need to be a crazy artist for this this dream plan at all. But once you have your plan down, then you're going to move next to picture. I like to write them down. So as you can see, I have number 1 here, I have the title, I have the date, and then I have the plan here. Next, you're going to write picture if you want. I just think it makes it very organized. Next, you're going to draw the little picture of what this plan is. Again, I literally just have my little stick figure self holding my back with a talk bubble. My kidneys and back are free of conflict. As long as your brain can see like kind of what the experience should be like, it's going to take less energy to create that experience. So that's another benefit of getting as clear as you can, is your brain doesn't have to generate so much random information. It's kind of like if you really want to take dream incubation to the next level, you can look up photos or images of, like, for example, the place you want to go. Let's say that you really wanted to dream of Mexico or something. You could look up photos and videos of Mexico from the point of view perspective and really allow your subconscious to soak all of that up. Like even when I'm on vacation and stuff, I'm like aware that my subconscious stores every single thing that it experiences, and so I try to like make sure to like really take time to look at the things that I want to remember. Like I love my skies, I love my dreamy clouds, you know, all the little magical moments that I find everywhere, and those are really important to me, and that's really what makes my dream space feel like home to me. And so I make sure to pay extra time or give those moments all my attention if possible. So yeah, just know that any way that you can saturate your subconscious mind with that experience, you can do that through pulling up images or videos, or if you're a daydreamer like me, then you'll probably be able to pick up on a lot of the details of the plan that you want to have pretty quickly. And it's fun to kind of create, because once you know that your subconscious mind is really an incredible artist. I'd say the brain in general is a beautiful artist. Consciousness, reality, all of it, okay? All of it. Anyways, so draw your little picture for your dream plan. And then we will move on to the third piece to this dream plan. So we're almost done. This piece is going to be fairly simple. It's going to be one sentence that you're going to come up with. And this is going to be either the thing that you repeat as you fall asleep to kind of bring this experience closer to you, or if you are working on inducing a lucid dream, then this is going to be like the mantra that you speak to call that experience in if it isn't already there when you get lucid. So this is known as a sankalpa. Basically a mantra is what it is. So for mine, because this is around a lucid dream, I put down the thing that I'm going to speak once I actually get lucid, which is my kidneys and back are free of conflict. Now, if you're wanting to induce a non-lucid dream, for example, then and you want it to be of Mexico, like we talked about or something, then it would be an affirmation around being in Mexico, or tonight I'm dreaming I'm in Mexico, or I know that I am dreaming tonight in Mexico, something like that. You want it to be kind of simple, straightforward, but encompasses your intention. That way when you speak your sankalpa, it literally brings you to your plan. Like, it's very clear. It encompasses what your plan is, if that makes sense. So again, if you're planning on a lucid dream, this is going to be the intention or the request that you speak out once you are dreaming. And as you're falling asleep, you can even imagine being in that dream, being lucid in that dream, and actually speaking that out. Again, mental rehearsal. If you've been here on the channel for a while, we talk about that a lot. And it's because mental rehearsal is a real experience to your brain. And so if you can mentally rehearse the experience and go through what it already feels like, it's going to feel so much more natural when you experience it. You'll probably experience it sooner or easier because you've already kind of walked through that experience in your mind. And it's probably going to be more vivid because now that you gave your brain more energy to work with, by giving it more like information, it has more energy to put into that experience. So yeah, that's kind of going to be your sankalpa. And again, maybe you want to have your grandmother visit you in your dreams tonight. Then you could say, I am with my grandmother now. And you could just say that. And perhaps if your grandmother's passed, she could visit you in other ways outside of just your dream by working with this incubation plan, you know? But that was something that was really important to me after my grandma passed away, was dreaming of her. And so that's what I used my dream incubation journal for a lot. And because it felt so important to me, it was really, I don't know, it was just very easy for me to get lost in it as I was falling asleep as well. Like the smell of her perfume. I even have her old bottle of perfume because it's like she's worn that my entire life, and I can imagine the smell. It is her. Like, even if there's a tiny whiff of that perfume in the air, I immediately sense her. And that's something that I kind of used to my advantage as I was falling asleep in that liminal state, like smelling her perfume and feeling like I'm hugging my grandma and imagining us coming together and her seeing me and being surprised. Like, all of that kind of helps set the the experience for that dream. And I did have a dream of, I don't think it was, maybe not that night, but after she passed away, I would, you know, when you're like waking up but you're not dreaming, but your eyes are closed and you're still kind of thinking, I'd feel her like lean over me and like check to make sure I was okay when I was sleeping, and I'd smell her perfume and I would be awake and I'd be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, my grandma's here, like in my head. And so this intention that you're creating, it might come to you in different ways than you expect. Like, if you intend to actually be with your grandmother and you think that that's just gonna come through in a dream, you might also get some sort of synchronicity or sign from her in the waking life as well, because obviously she knows that you're wanting to visit with her. Like, I believe that their consciousness can be a part of every moment that we experience, and so they obviously know when we're intending or wishing to see them and experience being with them. And so don't underestimate the power of your dream incubation, and your sankalpa is what really gives it power. That's going to be what you repeat as you fall asleep, so your subconscious mind can be saturated with this intention, especially if this is the very last thing you do before bed, which is how I recommend doing it. It's going to be a lot more effective this way. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is the last piece. So we have our the title of it, right? Plan, picture, sankalpa, and the last one is just the outcome. We want to be able to experience the end of our outcome before we actually experience it. This sounds familiar. Kind of sounds like Neville Goddard's living in the end technique that we talk about a lot on the channel. I believe that's how quantum jumping and all of that shit works anyways. It's like living in the end of your desire, literally adapting the consciousness of being in the end of already achieving your desire, like assuming that identity. I believe it's kind of like the same here. We really want to tap into what it will feel like once we have achieved that desired experience. So for example, my outcome was I will wake up from my lucid dream feeling refreshed with no pain in my kidneys or my lower back. Super easy. Oh, I love this one. And it's funny because I actually just shared this experience the other day on one of the past live streams. If you guys remember, I talked about meeting my worthiness within my lucid dream, and it was that I dreamt of this beautiful like woman that I basically like fell in love with in my dream, and once we came together, like all of the things from my childhood came alive. Like Cinderella, everyone started dancing to A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes. Everyone started ballroom dancing. When we go outside, we're literally in Alice in Wonderland. Like the whole dream, like once I connected with my worthiness and I felt that worth and I felt love for myself, that reflection of myself in my dream, the entire dream turned into like an experience that my inner child would absolutely love. It's like that deeper part, my inner child that knew on a soul level that I was worthy. It's like that I finally was able to recognize that through that dream experience, and then after that it was literally feeling like my inner child was celebrating me. It was just the most beautiful dream. So beautiful. I even get teared up thinking about it because like you just had to be there, okay? Like it was so beautiful. And I remember waking up crying and just being like, oh my God. And that was the first night that I made this dream plan. I had that dream. And the outcome that I have listed is I will wake up with a greater understanding of my truth and all that I truly deserve. And I will share this dream with my community. And that's exactly what I did. And that's exactly what I realized after that dream. And it was so beautiful to see myself in that way. And the more that I like fell in love with this girl in my dream, like every time I'd see her, she looked more like me every time. It was like this slight shift, and it was just like the most beautiful experience ever. That was probably one of my favorite dreams. And it's cool to look at the dream plan because it's like, wow, it's cool, I don't know, to look at just this random dream plan that I made, and that was one of my favorite dreams ever. It impacted me so much. It like lights me up thinking about that dream. But yeah, it's kind of the outcome. You really want to tap into that feeling before you feel it. Like, what is this experience going to give to you? Like, once you have this lucid dream, once you have this non-lucid dream, once you have the answer to this question, or you have this understanding, to what you were desiring to get from this experience, like, what does that give to you? And because time is nonlinear, my friends, we can tap into already having received that and feeling the gratitude and the fullness from having already received that. That's the power that we want our outcome to have. So as you see, like the entire plan is made with lucidity and intention. And if we create lucidity and intention around our dreams, we're going to experience more lucidity and intentional dreams. Even when it comes to creating awareness outside of the dream, around your dream, like, for example, not getting lucid in your dream, but after maybe analyzing the dream and seeing where you could have gotten lucid, that's literally the exact same thing. You're building awareness around your dreams, and you will notice with this habit, it is much easier to create lucidity and awareness within your dreams. So that's a little thing you can do as well, is as soon as you wake up and you do your reality check, okay, and then you write your dreams down. I definitely recommend going through it and underlining all of the times you could have gotten lucid, for example. So your dream signs, the signs that you were dreaming, I like to write, or I like to underline those in my dream journal. That way, when I'm going through my dreams, I can immediately spot the patterns in my dreams, the dream signs in my dreams, and then any lucid dreams that I get, or any dreams that I get lucid in, I'll just put like a little star by that dream entry. That way it has the date, it has the title, it has the star, it has the underlines, and then any specific symbols or any specific pieces, or maybe I decode the dream a little bit further because this one seems more potent than the other ones. I'll write that under the dream. Kind of, yeah, like what I've decoded from the dream or what I've dissected from the dream, if that makes sense. I don't do that with every dream, but if there's like a really powerful dream where I'm like, okay, I need to understand the symbolism to this, after I write it down, I go through my decoding process in my head and kind of on the paper. And then, yeah, now you have this full dream where it's not only the experience, but it's dissected in such a beautiful way that it's a totally different message. Some people think that dreams are just random pieces throughout the day that our subconscious has come in contact with, and just random experiences from the past, and like it is a collection of daily residual information and also past information, but that's how it conveys messages to us. We're not going to listen to the messages necessarily if they don't feel familiar or we don't identify with them on some level. That's why our subconscious mind uses things that feel important to us, whether it's people that feel important to us, experiences, emotions that feel really intense, whether it's an emotion we want to feel or it's an emotion we don't want to feel. Your subconscious mind's goal is to get your attention. So it uses random pieces of what's already in your psyche to do that. But I truly believe that there is some important something, some sort of message in all of our dreams that can be found, but not all of them are meant to be found. Again, this comes back to like the intuition piece. Follow your feeling and your urges and your desires and trust when you don't feel connected to your dream practice, for example, because truly the times where I've just trusted and I've just like allowed myself to be like, once I came back into my dream practice, I had so much energy, focus, passion, like I trusted that wave. And in that time where I wasn't necessarily practicing all of the things I usually do in my dream practice, so many other pieces of my life or myself grew, or that I was able to explore in that time. Or maybe during that time, I got some really incredible business ideas that I was able to, like shit is orchestrated in such a divine way, we don't even realize that it's all calculated. But I truly believe that everything is calculated, including like our energy levels and stuff like that, or like what we're kind of interested in at the time. And I think that's part of our job, is to find the meaning in these things and to figure out obviously what we want to shift. But when it comes to, oh my gosh, I forgot second piece to that sentence, and I was really excited to tell you it. I'll come back to it. If this is your first time here, I can definitely get a little bit ranty and lose track of thoughts, so just work with me on it. Hello, Vegan Skeptic. What's up? Miriam, how's it going? Lunar Z, David, what is up, my friends? Thanks for hanging out. By the way, I've actually started creating vision boards and pictures for dreams and manifestation. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Yeah, that was so fun. I did one with, I don't know if I told you about that. Maybe, but yeah, I also made a vision board with like the AI generator and stuff, because I wanted to be able to really convince my psyche when I was looking at it that it was me. So like I printed out like a bank account with like from my bank, America First. Like America First has my name and then has the breakdown in like the account. And so when I look at it, it truly feels like it's from my actual bank account. I had it generate like a random YouTube channel, and then I cropped in thumbnails from actual videos. And then it just has like the 1 million subs across, for example. So it's very cool how AI can actually assist vision boards, it can make it feel so much more personal. And it was very fun to work on that. And so yeah, I'm glad that you do that and make it a part of your day, your night. See it as much as possible, and I promise that's more than half the work, is making sure that it can be saturated in your awareness. Oh yes, I remember what I was talking about. So I was talking about not all dreams are meant to be decoded, or not all messages are meant to be found. And I believe that you want to trust that desire of when you want to decode a dream and when it doesn't feel as important. You know, just like I said, if you desire to decode all of your dreams, I believe that you'll find something in it, even if it's like one of those little apps that has like that daily message of inspiration or whatever. Even if it's something small like that from your dream, I believe that there's something in there, basically in every single dream to be found. But the ones that you're like really tied to decoding or feel really important to you, it's like that on purpose. Those are the ones that you're truly meant to decode. And keep an eye out for the energy in your dreams. You'll really see when a dream is important based on how intense it feels, like how vivid and real, and like you'll know. It's kind of like how nightmares feel, where they feel like super, super vivid and realistic, but it doesn't always have to be a nightmare. But that level of intensity, you know, even some powerful, beautiful, happy dreams feel like that. It's almost like the dreams where you feel like you're right about to realize you're dreaming because it's so real. You're like right there behind your dream self's eyes. You're like, you feel like you're already lucid, but you're not. You know how vivid those experiences are? Pay attention to those, because I believe our psyche also uses energy in a intelligent way to let us know when there is a message that is meant to be found. Like when we have nightmares and stuff, you know, I believe that our subconscious can use the emotion of fear to just help create more alertness and to help us pay attention. And I don't think, of course, our subconscious and basically all parts of our human and our psyche, it's designed to kind of heal itself and integrate experiences. But there's a part of us that needs our permission to do that. You know, like shit comes up all the time, whether it's a trapped emotion, whether it's a trapped experience, or whether it's like a nightmare or something. But if we're not if we're not willing to let it come up the way that it was stored, or you know, like if we're not willing to witness it, it's kind of goes back to being repressed, and that can cause cycles or patterns within our dreams or our emotions. Like maybe that emotion does come up during the day, but we repress it, and then all of a sudden we feel like shit for the next week, and we keep having these soundtracks of thoughts replay, and we're like, why does this keep happening? It's because it needs your permission to be released, and it was stored a specific way, and it needs to be released a specific way. And I found that dreams, it's so cool, because just like we can integrate dreaming experiences, like it's the exact same way with our emotions. And working with our dreams, I think, is a key to integrating our emotion, because I believe that's how a lot of our experiences and memories and emotions are integrated, is through the actual dream experience. So by honoring the dream experience for what it is, you're truly honoring the root core of what that dream is bringing up, whether it's an emotion or a past experience. So really practice witnessing your nightmares as well, just as they're, if they were as important as any other dream, which they are, probably even more important than any other dreams that we're having, potentially. But practice removing the doubt or the fear in these experiences, and just seeing what happens when you're curious and you witness it. And if you have any nightmares, those are ones I recommend decoding for sure, especially if they're recurring. Oh my god, especially. And you will see a change in that pattern, I promise you. Okay, so we have our dream incubation dream plan. That's literally it. Again, you write the number plan that it is, the date, the title, your number 1, your plan, number 2, your picture, number 3, Sankalpa, and number 4, your outcome. Now, when it comes to writing your dreams down when you wake up, there's a couple things I want to say on that. Using your dream journal is non-negotiable if you want to remember your dreams, if you want to build lucidity, if you want to build dream recall, if you want to deepen your connection with your dreams, if you want to be able to decode the symbolism in your dreams, if you want to be able to spot the patterns in your dreams, if you want to be able to remember the dreams that you write down in your dream journal, like literally remember them forever. It's crazy what dream journaling can do. These are just a few ways in which your dream journal is extremely important to your practice. It is truly the foundation to your practice, because without the dream journal, we are not going to get anywhere. We're not going to be able to be conscious of what's actually happening in that time that we're asleep. We will never be able to keep track of all that information. And dream journaling is so important that it actually signals to the subconscious mind whether dream journaling or even remembering your dreams is worth it or not. Did you know that? Some people, which I've heard, which is totally understandable why people think this, but they're like, oh, I don't write my dreams down because I don't dream. I'm waiting until I have a dream before I start writing them down. But just the act of not practicing writing down your dreams is what actually tells your subconscious mind if dream work is important to you or not. I know it's crazy, but that's actually a big portion of what dream recall comes down to, is if you are practicing recalling, if you are trying to recall what happened during your sleep, if you take a moment before you get out of bed to ponder if you can remember anything at all, and then writing down the result of that. When it comes to your dream journal, it is so important to use it every single day, but it actually doesn't matter if you write down a dream or not. It only matters that you write something in it. And basically, the dream journal is just reporting what happened last night. It's not necessarily just meant for your dreams. It's like a sleep journal. It's like you're writing down anything that you remember in it. You're writing down the last thing that you remember before you fell asleep. Maybe the last thing you remember is this dream plan that you're making, and so that's what you'd write down in your dream journal. Maybe you don't remember anything. You'll write that down. I didn't remember any dreams tonight. I went to bed, don't remember anything. Like, you can write that down as well. Maybe you did wake up because you had to pee super bad in the middle of the night, but then you didn't remember anything. Like, you can write that down. That is important, I promise you, because writing down in your dream journal when you're not even dreaming is also important information. You want to be able to see where you were at in every step of the way. Like, you'll be able to see when you have weeks of dry spells. You'll be able to see over time, like, ways that your subconscious tries to let you know that you're dreaming. It's like your dream world has its own personality. You have your own dream environment all to yourself, like all to you, and your subconscious speaks to you in a very specific personal way based on everything that's gotten you to this point in time. Like, everything you've gone through up until this point is information that your subconscious could use to speak with you on some level, especially if you are desiring to understand something, if you are open to learning something about yourself that you didn't know before, if you have any sort of openness, or like you are welcoming any new experience in, I promise you that is, your subconscious loves that. Because the moment you say, okay, I'm ready to experience this, or okay, I want to explore this archetype, or okay, I notice this emotion has come up a lot within the past couple weeks, so I want this emotion to speak to me. I'm speaking directly to this emotion right now. Please come to me in my dreams and let me know how I can support you. Let me know what you need. You could do that, and I promise you that emotion will come to you in your dreams. It is so cool. But it kind of needs your permission to do that. I mean, there's going to be things that come into your dreams that don't necessarily need your conscious permission. But a lot of it is waiting for you to be ready, for you to consciously state and decide that you're ready. Because this is super beautiful, deep work. And you can use it for whatever you want. You can use it for just keeping track of your dreams and having fun. You could use it for getting lucid and exploring your dream realm. You can use it for deep, deep inner healing. I mean, like, it will go as deep as you want the rabbit hole to go. It will go as deep as you decide to go in the rabbit hole. But I promise you, a lot of it is based on your own want to do it. That's why I say, like, trying to force your dream practice at all just wait until it becomes a natural interest again. Like, obviously, do what you can, even if it's the bare minimum, even if it's just writing down your dream journal, and that's all you do. That's totally fine. Find where you can meet yourself in your dream practice. And there's times where I'm sick or I'm having a stressful month or whatever, and like I allow some grace and I have patience with myself, and I promise you everything is so much more effective when you don't put pressure on yourself, when you don't shame yourself, when you don't keep shoulding yourself. I should do this. I should do like practice being so gentle and loving with yourself, especially when it comes to your dream practice, and watch what happens. Literally watch what happens when you do that. But we're going back to dream journaling. As soon as you wake up in the morning, and again, if you ever have dreams that you wake up and you're trying to write your dreams down, what I recommend doing, because that is a pre-lucid dream, that is a dream in which you could realize you're dreaming at any time. There are ways to capitalize on that, so when you have those types of dreams, you can get lucid. So let's say that you're someone that dreams of waking up all the time, right? If you are like that, what I recommend is in waking life, after you do wake up, to do a reality check. Quickly count your fingers, maybe turn your head, count your fingers again, make sure that everything looks the same, try to poke your finger through your palm, whatever, just make sure things feel solid and things seem real, okay? Maybe ask yourself a question of how you know that you're awake right now, or one sign that you are awake. And if you just get in the habit of doing this every day when you wake up and then you write in your dream journal, you are going to do a reality check habitually anytime you have this dream of waking up. And I recommend doing it before you write in your dream journal, because I've had some dreams where I'm like trying to write in my dream journal and I like cannot do it. Like either the pen is shrinking or like everything that I just wrote is getting erased. And I'm like, the fuck is going on? Like, why is this so, and like I don't catch on. And I'm like, what is happening? To avoid all of that, to avoid the confusion in the dream, just practice doing a reality check before you write your dreams down in the morning. That way it's just a natural part of your habits. And you'll be able to capitalize more on those false awakenings, is what they're called. So if you ever have a dream where you are falsely waking up, that is a false awakening, and you can actually use this directly for lucid dreams. And I recommend writing those down in your dream journal as well. Write down when you have a false, because again, you'll be able to spot patterns, and based on what you're dreaming of, you can use that information to trigger lucidity. For example, if you're dreaming of a school all the time, which is something I dream of all the time, during the day, you can start to create awareness triggers around school. That way, anytime you start to see a school, you can start to subconsciously associate it with your dreams and to check if you're dreaming. And that will seep into your dreams fairly quickly, too. It's so cool. Reality checks kind of seem like a chore, like, do I have to do reality checks? Until it shows up in your dream for the first time. And you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I get it, I get it, I get it. I'm so excited. Okay, I need to do a million reality checks right now. Like, you'll be so ready, like, to be doing, like, that's where your fuel comes from, by the way, is having so much grace and patience with yourself that you can have these spontaneous experiences that, like, trigger that excitement naturally in you. Like, that is where your power comes from. How often has forcing your dreams to work for you? How often has that worked? Okay. Tell me how it was when you first got into dreaming. I bet, if you're anything like me anyways, you were so obsessed that you wanted to learn everything that you could about that one thing. Maybe you meditated for way too long during the day without really even knowing how to get into a lucid dream. And you were just trying any single thing that you could to get closer to lucid dream. Like, I'm telling you, once I started getting into this, it's like I was so obsessed, I couldn't even have someone talk to me without me bringing up dreams or anything. Like, and if you really don't care about your dreams, you're gonna hate me back then, because that's like all I wanted to talk about. And I can be the same way. It really depends where my practice is at, because again, something that you're working with, something that you're moving through, is going to be what you want to talk about. It's going to be what you want to share. It's going to be what you want to work with. And so allow yourself to find that natural interest in your practice. At least commit to the minimum of writing your dreams down. And I promise you, just doing that, you're going to see a drastic increase in not only the amount of dreams that you have, how vivid they are, and guess what? How profound they are. Because once your subconscious mind knows that you're listening, the messages that come through are super fucking cool. And they can be super beautiful. And you can have really cool spiritual experiences. But again, like, do not shame or force yourself because, like, to do certain things in your practice because you haven't had a lucid dream for 10 days and you feel like drop all that shit, okay? It doesn't matter that you haven't had a lucid dream in 10 days. Like, it literally does not matter at all. Once you see how dynamic dreamwork is, you never feel like you're out of your dreamwork practice because it's a practice. It's all part of the practice, you know? Whether you're working with lucid dreams specifically at that time or not, there is a billion ways to work with your dreams outside of just lucid dreaming. And I promise you, whatever you tell yourself becomes fact. Your subconscious mind does not have a filter like you think it does when it comes to the things that you say to it. So make sure that you are not discouraging yourself. Make sure that you're not shaming yourself. Make sure that you're not putting resistance and baggage on top of your practice, because guess what? It's going to come out in your dreams, girl. It's going to come out in your dreams. It's going to be like, hey, what's up? You wanted me here. What's up? We want to practice having fun with life in general, but also dreams should be one area that you for sure allow flow in, okay? And flow is not always going to look the way that you want it. Sometimes you are going to feel like you're having dry spells, or maybe your attention is pulled in different areas. And guess what? That's just part of it. But the way to really stay inspired and playful and creative is to make sure that you're still feeding that part of yourself in different ways that align with you at that time, okay? What you're super excited about today is going to be different than next week. Just find your natural flow, and I promise, because dreamwork is I truly believe it's connected to our flow, to our intuition, to that playful, curious, childlike version of ourselves. The more you can live in that space, the more dreams will naturally be there, okay? Because it's truly a prerequisite of living that way. And just, like, you know, when you're so excited about dreamwork, you're so excited to go to sleep, and you're just like, you just can't wait. You want to find that feeling in your practice. That's what's going to fuel you. That's what's going to carry you. And of course, the dream plan kind of helps keep you on track even when you aren't getting lucid, for example. Like, you can still be doing all these pieces without lucid dreaming necessarily being the forefront of it, if that makes sense. Now, when it comes to dream journaling, again, I recommend doing this every single day if possible. There's going to be some days where you slack, and that's chill. Again, have grace with yourself. But make sure that with that grace and that patience comes self-discipline. Now, self-discipline only needs to come in when you realize a pattern of ways where you're falling off in which you don't align with. For example, it's normal to have an off day or need to take a couple days just to do nothing. But when you notice those thoughts of like, oh, I really miss this, and you notice like those couple days has turned into like feeling like you've totally abandoned your practice, if it's a problem, it's going to be a thought replaying in your mind over and over. There's a difference between like a small judgment and like a deep knowing that you missed something or you're ready to explore something again. Like, just truly listen to what's going on in here, because it tells you everything that you need to know. And again, we have so much content on this. I'd especially check out the video I did on the difference between thoughts versus emotions, and the different roles between the brain, the mind, and emotions, because that will show you the difference between an actual like intentional choice that you're thinking, or a thought that your mind, that thought generator, is generating that is out of judgment or fear or insecurity. Like, you really want to nourish the thoughts, first of all, that you want to have, but you also want to pay attention to maybe what's being presented that doesn't feel aligned. For example, maybe you're smoking weed every single day and like you really, really care about your dreams, you really care about lucid dreaming, but you really like to smoke also, you know, and you're having a conflict with that because it's kind of hard for both of those to coexist at the same time, right? And so you'll know when it's something that you truly want to work on. You'll know when it's a judgment that's not true, like, oh, I'm a failure, this and this and that, this and that. That's a judgment. That's clearly not true. That's based off a story. But when it comes to something that you care about, when it's like like almost like an inner voice or guidance that you're meant to get back into something again and it's continuously reoccurring, maybe that's something to work with. You know, maybe you save cannabis for the weekends and during the week you practice your dreams. Maybe Monday through Friday you do dream work, and then on the weekends you can relax and smoke or take your edibles or whatever. Or you don't even have to do it like that. You could totally, you know what's cool? You make the rules. You make the rules to how you do things. You could even have 1 month on, 1 month off. I don't care how you do it. You could do it however you want, you know, depending on what kind of cannabis user you are, whatever. But you just want to find ways to work with yourself and work with your interests and also work with your energy levels. Also, when it comes to dream planning, make sure that you're like doing it in a way where you're not setting yourself up to fail. Like if you've never had a lucid dream before, your first dream plan being like the craziest lucid dream where I like heal this and heal this, you want to start off somewhere that feels exciting, that doesn't discourage you, that feels doable, that feels slightly expansive but not discouraging, you know? So really all pieces of your practice are working with you with where you're at right now. So don't try to pretend that you're somewhere else in your practice or try to rush to be somewhere else in your practice, because where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be, because right here is where the information or the knowledge is that's going to actually get you to that next level. Every piece to our practice is purposeful and important. But yeah, just be mindful with, you know, the dream plans that you do have and the amount of energy that you have to put towards your practice at any given time, you know? Okay, one more point on dream journaling. People have asked if they can use a digital journal, if they should only use a paper journal. So the biggest thing is that you use your dream journal daily. That is going to be the biggest thing, is whatever gets you to use it daily is what I recommend doing. Now, there are benefits to, mostly more benefits to a paper journal, and that is because you will physically have it forever. You can read through it like a book. You will have it. You don't have to worry about it accidentally getting deleted or anything unless you accidentally lose it. Don't do that. Keep them in like a box safe in your closet or something like that. But another benefit of a paper journal is that it puts you in the theta brainwave state, so it actually helps you recall your dreams by bringing you into that subconscious space more easily. So you're not like in the super stimulated like conscious mind when you're journaling. That's why you start to recall more dreams as you're writing. It's because it's kind of opening up that subconscious space and allowing you to kind of have more access to it consciously. I also love just reading it like a book. I think it's super funny. I love to go through old dreams that I've had. I think it's interesting. It's also easier to work with your past content by using a paper journal, because you can go back, you can underline things, you can like make little it just seems so much easier to go through instead of opposed to like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through pages and pages of books. It's like I don't know, maybe you find a way to make digital dream journals better than paper journals. But another downside to digital journals is that it's like blue light. As soon as you pull up your phone to write your dream down, for example, the blue light can stimulate your brain to kind of see it as false sunlight. So, okay, it's time to wake up. And that could be good if it's first thing in the morning and you didn't remember your dreams. Maybe you want to be in a beta brainwave state as soon as you wake up. Again, it's not recommended to use your phone first when you wake up, but some of us still do, right? But if you do that when you do remember dreams and you're trying to recall your dreams, number one, you can get distracted on your phone from notifications and stuff like that. Number two, because it's stimulating your brain so much, it could cause you to miss a lot of the information from your dreams. And number three, whatever number we're on, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you have a dream to write down and you write it down in your phone, it could be more difficult to go back to sleep because of the blue light. Again, you could find ways to work with any of this. You could have a blue light blocker on, like if it's much easier for you to use a digital dream journal, that's what I recommend doing. I just want to give you like the pros and cons to both so you can kind of figure out what makes sense. If there's times where I'm like in the morning where I'm like running lower on time or anything like that, a lot of the time I'll just send my dream to myself as either like a little note or like a little Facebook voice message or something. And then I'll transfer it later to my physical journal. And I just like seeing the physical journals add up. I love physical books. Like I've recently gotten into Audible because I think it's just a lot more efficient for me to start enjoying books, at least partially that way. But I love the feeling of a physical book. I love the feeling of turning physical pages. I love writing. It is just like a meditative thing for me, and I don't know, it feels so sacred, and that's something I don't really want to lose, is us writing with our hands, and being able to see your handwriting and just see how things have progressed in your journal over the years, and all the different versions of yourself that have held this journal. It's just, maybe I'm just a sentimental person like that, but I don't know, it feels special to have a physical journal, and it's better for me when it comes to recall and stuff like that, obviously, as we talked about. But yeah, kind of weigh it out, test it out, but really when it comes to dream journaling, the one that gets you to be consistent is going to be the best one. So if you really, really resist physical journals and you really hate them, then I would definitely do digital, because again, we want to remove as much resistance as possible. Even if that means doing things in a slightly different way than people tell us we should do, or that would be most effective, whatever. The best way is a way that gets you to be consistent in a way that feels good. Like, that's truly, yeah, Tiffany, it is so much easier, because especially if you had a super long dream and you have work and you don't have time to write that down, I will just capture it in a voice message. And then I literally, listening to that, I can remember the entire dream from that. It's so crazy what capturing just a little piece of your dream can do for your recall when you go to review it. Like, making that little voice message allows me to have the entire dream to put in my dream journal later. And, maybe it takes me a couple days to get to it, and maybe I have a couple voice notes that built up. Don't let it build up too much. It is a pain in the ass to go through and listen to several dreams and try to write them out in your dream journal. Don't let yourself get more behind than like 2 days on that if you're gonna do the voice memos and stuff. But again, you can also summarize your dreams. When it comes to summarizing your dreams, I would just be slightly careful, just so you can make sure not to miss any important pieces. It's almost like if you were going to summarize a movie to a friend. You'd summarize all the important pieces of the plot. You'd summarize everything that makes the story, right? Any really important symbols or pieces to the story. And that's kind of how you can see dream journaling when it comes to consolidating your dream. If it's like super, super long and you really don't want to write it all down, I would try to just cut out any pieces that seem mundane or not important. I do like physical books, but I can't see well enough to write in them unless I'm using my closed circuit TV that enlarges things on the screen. Maybe we can do that later with the voice notes, so I can still write them down in a physical journal. Yeah, totally. Experiment with it and see what feels good, because once you find a way that really feels good, you're going to be able to flow so much more with your practice. Because again, if you're someone that has struggled with physical journals in the past, it's gonna feel kind of resistant to use it every single day. So yeah, that'd be a great idea, to play around with it. Also, another cool thing would be a voice to text, because then you already have it all in text. So if you're someone that keeps a digital journal, but you also don't want to type it out, then maybe try voice to text. Maybe it won't be completely exact, but I mean, the few little words that it will miss probably won't be enough to change your dream journal entry or anything at all. Train tracks are always in your lucid dreams. Wow, that's interesting. How often do you see them in waking life, Mac? Because if you always dream of train tracks, I would for sure make sure that you're doing a reality check anytime you see train tracks or a train in waking life. That way your subconscious can start to associate that tracks. Okay, check if I'm dreaming. That's kind of what I mean by finding those very specific patterns. because they're going to be different for everybody. But it's kind of like your subconscious mind giving you little keys of ways that you can get lucid. We just don't realize that our subconscious mind is telling us how to get lucid. But if you pay enough attention to your content and how it's presented in the dreams, you realize your subconscious mind is definitely trying to help you realize something is off. Of course, Tiffany, you'll have to. Okay, cool. Yeah, you'll have to let me know how that works. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear about it. And that's kind of the name of the game, guys, is really just running your own scientific experiments, coming up with a hypothesis where it's like, okay, I hypothesize that if I do this for 30 days, this is going to be the result, or if I do this for 2 weeks, this is going to happen. Run your experiment and then report it, dreaming, it's so fun because it's teaching us about so much more than just dreaming. It's teaching us about our psyche, it's teaching us about reality, it's teaching us about sleep, it's teaching us about our sleep cycles, our different ways that we can dream, science of consciousness. Like, there's so much that dreams and spirituality, I'm like, fucking, like, there's so much that, and that, we're not even getting into like the things you can explore when you're in your dreams. It's just like such a beautiful practice. So really, really allow it to support where you're at right now, because I promise you that your dream space, your dream environment, your dream practice truly grows with you, and it's always there to support or serve you in some way. So that's why I also think it's important to pay attention to the dream content that you're having, even if it's a non-lucid dream, because there may be something super special for you in there, like that worthiness dream. Imagine if I didn't decode that. Like, that is like one of my favorite dreams I've ever had. And imagine if I just like didn't take the time to truly look at the symbolism, because it wasn't obvious to me at first. But once I was writing it down, I literally gasped and realized, oh my God, this is such a creative way for my subconscious to help me meet my worthiness and truly, truly experience that knowing on such a deep level. It's so cool. So cool. You often dream you're back in high school too? It's so crazy. I'll either be like in an art class, like doing art. I'll be like, the teacher will be getting mad at me in history class or something because I can't write correctly, or maybe I'm like lost. I'll have this one a lot. Maybe I'm like lost all school day trying to find my classes, and I'm just like so confused. That's like a lot of what my dreams are when I'm in school, which I guess relates to how I felt. I was just like so confused in my dreams now. I'm like, dude, I have walked around this school 20 times. Why can I not find my class? Or I'm like looking for my locker forever. It's just so weird. I don't even know. I could talk about school showing up in my dreams forever. The other day I had one where I was at recess or something. I guess I'm not in high school anymore. I don't really know. Sometimes the schools are combined. It's like a high school mixed with a preschool mixed with whatever. We're at recess, okay, as a grown adult. And you go outside and the ocean just like appeared there, like right on the other side of the fence. It's just this huge vast ocean with like tsunami size waves on the other side of the fence at the school, and everyone's just chilling, everything's fine. So, my subconscious mind throws some variables in there when it sees that maybe I'm a little bored dreaming of school. It's like, oh, well, let's take your school to the beach. Let's spice it up a little bit. But yeah, somehow it's almost always related to school on some level. And I guess it makes sense because, I mean, look what I do for my job. I teach a lot and I talk a lot. As you can tell, my voice is losing my voice. But maybe that's the reason why I always dream I'm in school. I'm not sure. Or maybe that's just because that was a really big piece of our, like, childhood and our development. That it's just wired in our psyche differently, maybe. Or the handful of times I've been bailed out of a terrifying dream by a train. It will pull up and take me away from the action. I live near a train station and always assume that's related. Interesting. Yeah, especially if you can hear dreams, if you can hear trains where your house is. I find that sounds especially definitely seep into my dreams a lot. Like, they're building a ton of stuff outside my house, like this whole like it's like a big subdivision type thing. But there's been a lot of construction, and so yeah, there's been a lot of construction in my dreams. So hey, maybe that's a way we can like kind of do dream incubation also, is through audio. Because if you're dreaming of trains, you live by a train. I'm dreaming of construction. I'm by a lot of construction right now. We can probably use audio. Like for example, take what we're talking about with Mexico and being in the jungle. You could use an audio of that to be more likely to have a dream like that. And of course we know that, but I'm trying to think of ways that we can create audio to be very specific for our specific desires of what we want to dream about. I guess one way would be to create just like a hypnosis of your own voice, kind of stating what you desire, what you intend to experience. I guess that's the next best thing to like the specific ambience you're wanting to create. What you said about dream skies, I've dreamt about seeing dark blue skies with bright white clouds and it's sunny. Ooh. That sounds really cool. I can imagine that in my brain, in my my mind. That sounds way cool. Yeah. It's almost like some sort of filter on the sky is what it sounds like. Definitely remember that, guys. Pay more attention to the skies because not only are the skies so beautiful and magical. I mean, the sky in waking life, like that's the one place where we can look where absolutely anything can happen. We're truly looking into infinite space and not even realizing it. And it's interesting that when we look up at the sky in waking life, it's infinite space, but when we work at the sky in our dreams, it's represented as infinite intelligence. Like literally, the sky is the intelligence in the dream. That's, at least for me and my clients I've worked with and stuff, and this just is kind of how I've taught dream work for the past handful of years, but it's like the sky represents your subconscious mind on some level. And when you're making demands, or I wouldn't say demands, requests, or wanting to speak to your subconscious, I've always found it comes from the sky. And now it's so ingrained in me that it kind of, yeah, represents that overall intelligence. But it's kind of interesting now that I'm saying that, like the connection of what the actual sky is in waking life, and then how I see it in the dream. It's like truly still that infinite intelligence. But the more that you, of course, sky watch and be all weird like me and just daydream and just look at, like literally, I'm surprised I don't have neck problems because sometimes I do have to hold my neck like this. I'm not gonna lie. I spend a lot of time outside. And now that I finally have a deck, I'm thinking of just taking a yoga mat out there one of these nights and just laying down on the deck and just kind of falling asleep out there. And we have raccoons or something living under our deck, and whatever it is, I've been feeding it a ton of peanuts, and I've been trying to see what it is, but I always miss. So maybe we'll run 2 experiments, okay? Maybe we'll go and watch the sky and get our subconscious some info, but also see if we can befriend the squirrels under the deck or the raccoons, or both would be ideal, honestly. But especially if you get lucid, try to talk to the sky in some way. It's really interesting. You gotta get creative though, for sure, because the dream world keeps you on your toes, okay? I was talking to a client a while ago, because I always talk about like getting lucid and then using the subconscious, or using the sky to speak to your subconscious mind, and they tried doing that and they said that it didn't work. And so what I told them is, okay, try to get a little creative next time and find different ways to kind of communicate to the subconscious mind. Like try pulling your phone out of your pocket and just calling your subconscious mind. And he tried that and he let me know that it worked. The only thing was his subconscious had a female voice and he didn't expect that. But he tried the talking to this guy, again in that dream. Didn't work, and so he just intended his phone was going to be in his pocket, pulled it out, put it to his ear, just intended that he was going to call his subconscious, and then he was able to talk to his subconscious mind on the phone. And apparently she was very sassy. That's what's cool too, is like just experiencing our archetypes personified. It's so interesting how mine can vary from yours. But yeah, it was a really cool dream. So just keep in mind that the dream is going to encourage you to use your creativity. It wants you to get creative. It wants to keep you on your toes. It's playing with you, okay? It's truly in that playful, childlike energy all the time, I think. So yeah, the sky I found is very mysterious. If you wouldn't have guessed, the sky mysterious? Oh my god. But no, really. In the dream, it's really cool the role that it can play. Um, I've been thinking about this a lot. The other day, I was listening to a podcast when I fell asleep. Then I had a dream that I was taking or talking to my friend about a movie. And when I woke up, there was a podcast playing about that exact same movie, like verbatim. What they were saying in the pod was what my friend was saying in the dream. That is so cool. Yeah, see, that's really interesting. I love that. Definitely, uh, definitely explore that in different ways. Because obviously we know that, but I believe there's different ways to use that to be more effective. Like again, like a self-hypnosis of like something very specific that you want to experience in the dream, I think would be cool to create and play. And if you use YouTube at night, like on your TV, like me, what you could do is you could create your self-hypnosis, you could upload it to your YouTube channel as unlisted, and then you can like view it on your phone or something just so it's in your history, and then on your TV go into your YouTube's history and you'll be able to view your unlisted video because on YouTube, as long as it's at least unlisted, if you have the link, you can view it. Private videos, it will just say, oh, this video is private and you can't view it. But yeah, if you ever create your own self-hypnosis with your voice and you want to listen to it at night and have it play throughout the night on YouTube, yeah, just upload it even if you have no one's going to see it. It's not a public video, just have it unlisted. And then you'll be able to enjoy it yourself anytime that you want to at night. Hello, Simon. What do you mean? So, you had an experience and then you can't get back to sleep after? Is it the same day? And explain to me your Kundalini yoga experience, because that's a whole topic in its own. We may need to save that for another another live stream. That's a whole topic. Definitely thinking about that. Definitely thinking about giving that a try. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that'd be cool to hear about for sure. And I would love to what about self-hypnosis? You know what? That's probably going to be more effective, Tiffany. I like the way you think. I like the way you think. But even with your guys' dream plan tonight, whatever it is, I would love to hear about your experience when you wake up. And again, I don't know if you're still here, Eric. Would I would feel bad if you're still here. But again, maybe you are a night owl and you stay up all night also. But I'm gonna go get ahead and get the link for you guys. But if you guys are not part of the Telegram community chat, oh my god, Eric, you're here still. Oh, you're the best. Thank you, Eric. Make sure to check out our resources. And in there you can find the Telegram community chat. Let me go ahead and just post the actual oh my god, everything's freaking out. Okay, we're good. But yeah, there is all of the resources, and then there is the Telegram chat in particular. And then yeah, please let us know what happens on there, or if you ever have any questions or an experience you want to share or looking for support, whatever it is, that is the place to be. But I'm gonna hang out for the night, guys. I'm gonna head off and get ready for my dreams tonight and to set up my space. And sometime I'll have to do, it's been like a few years since I've done this, I think, but like a little nighttime like dream type of routine video, because there's a lot of fun practices that come alive at night. I'm a night owl for sure, and there's lots of ways that I like to wind down or even stimulate my brain at night that maybe I shouldn't necessarily do super late, like for example, watching intent like yesterday I watched this beautiful documentary way late about the cuttlefish, and I really want you guys to hear about it. Okay. But it's too much and then like whatever I learn at night, I'll dream about it super heavily at night because my brain's processing it. So that may be one reason why my dreams feel chaotic sometimes, is just because there's lots of things that I like to do staying up late at night. So we'll have to explore some of those together in a live stream or something sometime. Hell yeah, Tiffany, that is what is up. It's just so peaceful and quiet, you know? So much to do. But I love you guys so much. Thanks again for joining on this little surprise live stream. I didn't tell anybody I was going to do this. I just decided to pop on and hang out with you guys for a little bit, but I hope that was helpful. Again, I hope to see you in the Telegram chat if you're not in there already, and the Facebook group is actually coming to live again. I'm really excited. I'm posting more in there and people are chatting, so whatever makes the most sense for you, or both, you know, why not both? But thanks again for hanging out, guys. I love you so much, and as always, I'm sending you endless love and endless lucidity, and good luck for your dream planning experience tonight, guys. Good luck. See you later.